Could you please introduce yourself and Messang Global?
Yeah, my name is Azim Merchant. I'm the CEO of Messang Group of Companies. Messang is a company which is based out of Pune and having offices all over India and also in Saudi Arabia. We are established in 81 and we are into multiple businesses. We have our own business into workplace laboratory systems where we make laboratory furniture. Messang has its own PLCs, home automation products, building automation products. Principally, we are a made in India company. Our policy is to make in India and sell India and also export. And all the factories, all the machinery, everything is in-house. So everything is made by us. So we have the pricing and quality in control.
What product segments do you have? Because I can see a variety of products here.
Yeah.
So could you just categorize them for me?
So to put it very simply, we are into two categories. One is automation and laboratories. Laboratories, we have the lab furniture, what we are displayed here. In automation, we have three categories. Industrial automation, building automation and home automation. All are made in India, made by Messang.
When you say laboratories, furniture, are you just building basic blocks or testing equipment sort of thing?
Yeah. So basically laboratory furniture is a very complex topic. What we do is basically we cater to different electronic industries like medical, automotive, SMT manufacturers. When we make lab furniture, ESD furniture, customized as per the customer, we make automated test equipments where we use aluminium, wood and MS and electronics and instrumentation, club it together and make a project. So we make the entire lab start to finish as per the customer wants. Everything is customized. No product is same at every customer.
Do you have a lot of suppliers on board and where are they based out of?
So very good thing is that we are blessed to be in Pune. Pune is surrounded with very good engineering companies. Mostly all our suppliers are from Pune and Bangalore. All are Indian and manufacturing is totally based in India. 100% make in India product. And the designs, the R&D, the development, the process, assembly, everything is in-house in India.
With respect to your automation segment, with the advancement of, IoT and all these automating industry automation trends, how has that impacted your business? What kind of response are you seeing?
So, industry is growing. As you see, EV is coming in, medical is growing, defense is growing. Electronics is such a thing that never sleeps. It always has something new coming. There's 4G, there's 5G, there is something else coming, there is Wi-Fi being there. EV is growing at a very fast pace. So as this trend grows in India, automation has to catch up. If you don't catch up, you're going to be beaten by the competition. So automation is really growing drastically. New technologies coming in, and what Messang is doing is we are adapting it very fast. We have teams who go international, we learn the things, we come back, we study, we source it, we develop it for the Indian market. So this is really impacting in a very positive way.
In both these segments, who's your target customer?
Oh, that's a very wide topic because for us, we are blessed to be diversified. Majority of the business comes from automotive, semiconductor, EV, defense aerospace. For the building automation, we are talking only to builders, real estate companies, project companies, like example high courts, data centers. For home automation is the high-end villas, HNIs. So it's a very vast industry. So basically our main people we meet is R&D managers, the people who are responsible for health and safety because they look after the automation security. We look at mainly the people who are making labs like assembly in charges, production in charges, the people who are in charge for quality QA QC manufacturers. So they are our target, to go to market.
Here at EFI Expo, who do you expect to meet?
So we are getting a lot of people, which is very good, that who are the key decision makers. We are having production managers coming in, plant heads coming in, R&D heads coming in. Nowadays, companies have separate departments for lab in charges. This new thing started 2 years back. So we see a lot of lab in charges roaming around, looking for what they can incorporate in their manufacturing. So these are the kind of people we are seeing. We also see directors, vice presidents coming. We see a lot of general manager projects coming in. So a very vast variety of key people are coming in EFI this year. We're very happy to see that.
I see on your poster you have put Make in India and GEM portal and all of that. So how are you collaborating with government initiatives or any sort of collaboration?
So GEM is something which the government has started 2-3 years back, and it has now been a very standard process. So it's like Amazon for the defense. So here we have, because we are Make in India, the criteria is that you have to be a Make in India company. 85% of your product should be Make in India. We are 99%. So we could get registered in GEM. And with GEM, what happens is that anywhere in the India, where is IITs, NITs, government, defense, they go to GEM portal and they just give the purchase order because you're registered, your price is registered. So there is no need of sending your quotations or catalogs. So it's like a one price all concept, which is very good for the government. And also go as a vendor, we get access to many multiple customers who we've not even met. So it's like an Amazon of defense procurement, I would say that way.
Any other collaborations to reach out to your target customers?
So we use digital marketing very strong. We use platforms like EFI magazines. We use EFI as a tool for exhibiting. Then also we do a lot of IndiaMart ads, and SEO, digital marketing was a new trend. And we reach out to customers by WhatsApp marketing, mass mailers, strategic collaboration with magazines, ads, paper ads, like these things.
What kind of response do you see in India with respect to your products? And how does it compare to the foreign markets? Like you mentioned, you are in Saudi Arabia also.
So in India, we see that many people are now investing in good labs, good furniture, good instrumentation, good technology, where we see very good scope. Education is picking up, EV is picking up, semiconductor is picking up. Saudi Arabia, UK, Vietnam are also good markets. A little slow in compared to decision making compared to India, but also picking up. But I would see India as a very high perspective for our products.
You mentioned you collaborate with colleges and everything, but academia has a very low budget as compared to a high-end, product company or something like that. So how do you balance the price point for your customer?
That's a very good question actually. See, in education market, there are three types of customers, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. For our products, we focus on Tier 1 institutes, private institutes, like you say IITs, NITs, some privately owned institutes who are run by big individuals who are spending lavishly on their setups. We do not go to the Tier 2, Tier 3 because they have a lot of budget restrictions and decision making is very slow. So that's how we segregate, because we are very focused that we go to all, we're going to waste a lot of time. So we focus as per the categories, and we have a separate database which has the Tier 1 list ready with us, who we target specifically.
What kind of investments do you make with respect to R&D? Do you have a set list of products, or do you want to expand your product line as well?
Yeah, so basically we have a very big R&D team and design team, which always needs to be fed work. So our customers teach us what they want. So we go to the customers, we understand what the customer wants. A customer wants to be new, some new design, some new conveyors. We give it to the R&D, and the R&D designs it. And the biggest investment we do is we invest in machinery. So what we target to do is we don't want to outsource anything. Because when you outsource, your pricing is gone, your quality is gone, time is wasted. So we focus on machinery, in-house manufacturing, in-house labor, and a lot of emphasis on what sales is giving the input to the R&D. So R&D gets its fruits from the sales, and R&D then designs it as per what the customer wants. And once a customer selects it, then we multiply it using our digital marketing and expos like EFI.
What kind of after-sales support do you provide for your products?
So for our products, mainly we have to do a lot of AMCs because it's a ESD product. So we need to do testing, continuous monitoring, and sometimes customer want to keep on changing some layouts. So that's what we do at pan India level. We have a separate team who focus on after-sales support, and also keep on updating customers with the new trends and new add-ons.
Is service a model of revenue for you, service and maintenance?
For our products, the workplace technology products, not so much. Mainly because the products are supposed to have a lifetime stature. But for the other products like PLC and home automation and building automation, service and AMCs becomes a big model revenue.
How does that compare to your sales revenue?
So you can say service always is going to be 10 to 12% of your total sale or revenue. Because that's just 10% of the things. Sometimes customers don't want it. Sometimes customers do it in-house themselves by video call or audio call. So it depends, but very less compared to the total sales.
What are your hiring trends in your company? What kind of people are you looking to hire?
So we look for always electronic engineers, embedded engineers. For the plant level, we look at mechanical ITIs and design engineers. So mainly engineering is the forte.
Do you engage in any skill development initiatives? Because what you do seems pretty unique.
Yeah, so in-house we have a set budget which we give to the key people where they can increase their skills. Like they keep on doing courses from big management schools, some digital online courses, some are short term, some are long term, to keep on sharpening their sword. So we encourage that in our company, and many people do it.
What is your strategy for retaining talent?
So what we do is we keep on giving them new work. So you see, a person should not be saturated. So we keep on giving them some work where they're growing, they're learning, and they are contributing more to the company. For example, sales, we give them more territory, we give them international exposure. For plant, we give them new machine access, we give them new product development. So if you keep on adding work, so one person taught me, designing should never stop in a company. So moment there's design, there is work, there is more sales, there is more machinery is used, people are used. So that is what we follow.
What are the key challenges that you've noticed in the Indian industrial automation and electronics sectors?
So some challenges are that some competitors do a lot of mis-selling. They say they are giving X, they give Y, and the customer then compares Y to your top-end product. Some things that many times people are very slow in decision making, especially in some verticals like defense and education. The decision happens a little slowly compared to industry. And sometimes because of the infrastructure, the logistic part becomes a little bit challenging. Sometimes there is rain, cyclones, but that you can't do anything about it. You have to put it in corporate. These are some challenges. Otherwise, we feel India is a very good place to work and very good manpower, very good customers.
How do you compete with other players in the field with respect to pricing and innovation?
The trick is to have your own in-house setup. If you have in-house manufacturing, own machinery, own design, pricing is in your control. So we try to do everything in-house. The moment I know that we are outsourcing something, I try to tell my team to do it in-house. Regarding quality, we are very highly focused. We are very careful. So all the machinery, we have taken our German machinery, Italian machinery, which gives us the good end product. And we always try to innovate. As I told you, design never stops in my company. So we always innovate, we always come out with ideas, we always see what's new, we learn from the international market. So we have a team who travels internationally, learns new things, and we try to incorporate in India market.
How do you see the role of AI, IoT and other technologies impacting your business?
Very high, very high. Especially AI in digital marketing is something which we are exploring. AI has recently come in and we feel a lot of benefit. Things that were difficult before, because of AI has become much more easier. Even in terms of design, even in terms of understanding the things that are difficult to hire before. You had to hire consultants, you had to hire designers. Now with AI, you can do it in-house. So big impact. And I think it's just the start.
What are the future developments we can expect from Messam Global in the next 5 years?
So we are, in all the businesses, we are looking for developing new products, new features. Like in our business, we are looking for automatic conveyor systems. We are looking for server racks. We are looking for new communication platforms in our electronics. So continuous, we are already planned for 3 to 5 years ahead.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Asim.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.